Hello all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Raju Puchala. In this video, let's quickly take a look at EDA. EDA stands for Exploratory Data Analysis. So before we jump into the machine learning training and development in production, so first of all, we should understand what kind of data we do have, and so how many rows are there, how many columns are there, and also how many features, how many labels, whether it is a classification model or whether it is a multiple classification model or a regression model, and are there any null values, and so what is the mean, and everything we should understand before training the model. So let's start with the collab. So let's go to google.com here. So collab is one of the useful notebooks that you can quickly jump in, register yourself, and can do that. Click on here and click on plus new notebook. Meanwhile it is loading. Let's look for the data. So Kaggle is one of the data science communities. Basically you can trust, you can rely on this one. Here there are like so many projects where you can go, you can download the data sets, and for few of the projects actually there is a code as well. You can practice using this one. So I improved myself in the machine learning domain by using this Kaggle only. So believe me guys, this is the best one. So here, if in case if you have not registered yet in the Kaggle, please do register yourself. It's totally free. And over here, there is something called datasets. Click on here, and here, so I am looking for heart disease dataset. So this is one of the popular dataset for anyone to quickly start, learning the ML. So click on download over here, and it will download the CSV file. So I have downloaded my CSV file already. So I'm going to upload that here. So let me rename this first. Let's rename as EDA, ML, EDA, Explore Data Analysis. Let's click on connect over here. It may take a few seconds. If in case if you have not watched my previous video, please go and watch that. I will pin that YouTube link over here in the description. So it really helps you to understand what are all the libraries, the useful libraries, or the most used libraries that we have in the machine learning. Okay, now on the left side, if you notice, there are like icons, and there's a folder icon. Click on this one. Let's upload the downloaded file desktop, and here upload. Okay, so it is uploaded, and now what we can do here, so this is connected, and if you click on here you can see how much RAM you have. Like you have 12.7 GB of RAM for free of cost, and 107 RAM hard disk it is available. So this is really good. And why we are looking at this one, so when we are training the model, so sometimes you will run out of memory. It's because you only have 12.7, but anyways we are handling with a small data set, so this would be totally fine for you to learn. So let's import, to import the CSV file into this one, we have to use the pandas libraries. So import pandas as PD. Okay, so PD dot read, so let's read the file, read CSV. So where is the file? Here, copy this one and paste it over here, right? So I will call this as a DF, data frame. So DF, so let's do DF. So it has written few rows, and what are all the columns we do have? We have age, we have sex, we have chest pain, we have this column, we have maximum heart rate, and I'm quite familiar with this data set. That's the reason I'm quickly going through that. And here is the target. So okay, let's see how many. If you would like to see the first five rows of this one, you can do df dot head, and by default it returns 5 0 1 2 3 4. So whatever you're seeing over here, basically it's an index for you, right? So if in case if you would like to see like seven, first seven, you can do something like this, and 10 you can do like this, right? You can see the first 10 to understand what kind of data that you're having. And now if you would like to see the last five, df dot tail, this is called exploratory data analysis, like to understand like what kind of data you have and all, right? And now let's see what is the shape of this one, like how many rows are there and how many columns are there. Df dot shape. So you have 1025 rows and 14 columns are there, which is really good. So the rows here, the columns here, so again here to here, So this is the one that we are going to predict. For example, if a person age is 59 and if it is a male and the chest pain type is 1 and they have a maximum heart rate of 164, they may have heart disease. Okay, for example, if a person age is 60 and who's a male and the maximum heart rate is 141, so they may not have the heart disease. So based on this data, the medical diagnostic centers, they will take a person's data while performing some tests, and using this ml model data sets, they can predict whether they have a heart disease or not. And if you ask me whether whatever this ml model is going to predict, whether it is going to be accurate or not, that is what we are going to find out by using the accuracy score and all. Okay, right, for now we have 1025 rows, which is quite good enough, and 14 features, 14 columns are there, which is really good. If you just want to see how many rows are there, you can also use length of df. Either you can use this one or you can use this one. And also, what else we can do? Okay, let's try to find the null values. Okay, so for that we have to import the module called numpy. So let's find null values. Okay, so for that, import numpy as np. Okay, df dot replace. So if there are any null values, I'm going to replace as np dot nan. Okay, and once after I replace, I wanted to save that one. So whenever you want to save, you can use input is equal to true. And now, so when this is done, and in the second line, if in case if there are like nan values is na, then I would like to sum that and I would like to display over here. Okay, right now there are no blank values over here, which is quite really good. If in case if there are blank values, if you see the numbers over here, that we will I will explain this in detail in our next upcoming videos. And for now, let's quickly focus on EDA. And then, so what is our data set here? If you would like to see all the list of column names here, so let's find the column names. Oops. Okay, so df is our data set, right? Dot columns. So this returns all the column names for you. So all the column names over here. If in case if you would like to have the column name and the data type, you can use info. Sorry. So basically, this returns the column name and how many values are there, and how many non-null values are there, and then what is the data type, and why this is so important in 64, float 64, and all. So sometimes you might also come across the strings, which I will explain in detail in upcoming videos. But for now, let's. I mean, we have all the numbers only. We don't have any string values or like alphabetic values over here, which is quite good. So basically, this is sample data set for anyone to quickly jump into the machine learning. So when we have, for example, let's say like 6 instead of 1 and 0, if we have a b, we have to convert that into numbers by using the encoders. That we will see in the future videos. For sure, I will walk you through everything. But for now, let's focus on this one. So we don't have any string values. Everything is integers, floats, and all. If in case, so for example, let's say if you want to convert this one into a float, the difference between the float and integer is that, so 1 or like 5, this is an integer value. Okay, 5.1 is a float value. Okay, so when you upload the data, automatically the Colab, the pandas itself, it understands and it reads the data and it tells like, okay, there are like some in decimal value. So let's assume, let's assign the data type as float. And whenever there are like no float values, it will assign the integer values over here. And if you see over here, int 64 and float 64, how does it concern to us? It really do concern to us. I mean, so basically we have something called, if you look at this one, we have different data types like int 32. Okay, and we have int 64, like that. So float 32, float 64. So I mean, it's all about like allocating some memory space to each and every variable. So for example, let's say if you go with int 32, so it is one of, I mean, it really improves your code performance because it allocates less memory in the RAM. Whereas if you go with int 64, it holds more space for your variables, And in terms of performance, you can see like 1 or 2 seconds of variation. It again depends on your how long your code is or what you're performing. So I mean, ideally, if someone asks you like to optimize your code, maybe you can look into in 64 and 32. But as of now, we are dealing with the small data sets. We really don't have to focus on this one. But when I'm going to talk about the TensorFlow and how to handle with the images, then we may deeply look into this one and try to understand what are the differences. Okay, just keep this in your mind. Okay, so this also goes cool. Okay, we have all this one. And now what else we do have? So if in case if you just want to see the data types, df.d data types, so you can only see like the column and the data types. So all the different types of codes like to understand like what you have. And you have like df dot, if you want to see what is the mean, what is the variance and all. Okay, so you can see how many for the age column, how many are there, 1025, and what is the mean average of the age is 54. So if you look at all the people's age, the average is 54, and the standard deviation is like 9. So it's like 45 standard deviation, like. And the minimum, what is the minimum age? 29 in our data set, and the maximum is a person maximum age is 77, and 25% of the people whose age is like less than 48, and 50% of the people whose age is 56, less than 56 or equal to 56, and 75% to 61. Like this, we have the data for all the values over here. Do remember, if any of the data types is string, so that will not display over here. So this only displays for the integers and the floats or the double or the long. Okay, so now again let's look our data set. So this is our data set. So now how do we get to know what model we have to use, right? So how we can know? So this is the target column. So basically, let's see how many values are over here. So how we can do df dot target dot value counts. Okay, so this gives how many values are there. So in this target column, there are 526 values, where the value is 1, and 499 records where the value is 0. So basically, this is a classification model. It has only two outputs, 1 and 0. So what we can say based based on above. So we this is a classification model. Okay, for content for regressions, the output would be like 1.12, 1.24. There are so many outputs. So let's focus on classification now, and let's also group by this one target. So let's see. Let's again look at the data set, df dot head. So target df dot group by target, and I would like to have the mean. So you can see the mean over here for zeros. I mean, now we are breaking into like zeros and ones, whereas here in the df.describe, so we have the overall data set, the mean, average, and all. Now here, for example, let's say 0 is a woman and female, and 1 is a male. So for female, we can see like what is the so here we have performed mean. So what is the average age? So and everything over here, right? So this is all about the data exploration part. So again, so let's have a recap over here. So what we did, so we did we imported the data. So import data. Okay, and then what we did, we saw first five headers, first five rows. Okay, next last five rows we did, and then we understand null, we check for null values. Okay, and then check for data types, and if there are strings, then we have to use encoders. Okay, for now we are not using the encoders, and check the mean, standard deviation, variance for every column to understand the data. And so again, in this df.describe, I have not gone in depth because I know that So I'm preparing this ML models for the beginners. So if in case if I go into the statistics part, it will be like very confusing for everyone. So we will get into everything gradually. So believe me, guys. However, I learned, I'm just trying to put everything for you here. And so you by using describe deep dot describe, and also we can so group by. Cool. So this one, and so and also if you, for example, the last one, if you would like to, for example, this age, right? So the age data type df dot age dot d types, you can also check like this. So this is int 64. If you would like to convert this as a float 64, how you can do df of age dot as type. So I would like to have float 64, right? So, and again, I want to save this into df age. Okay, so let's do this one. Okay, I have converted this to float, and now let's execute this one. So it has become float 64 here. So now, if you, in case if you would like to convert everything into float, how you can do by using the for loop for column in df dot columns. Okay, df of same here. Instead of age, I'm passing column is equal to df of column dot as type float 64. Okay, now let's look at all the data types. You can see everything is converted into 64. This is how we can quickly convert any value in data type strings actually. Thank you for watching this video. So please do let me know if you have any questions or something you would like to focus on. I'm very much happy to help you. I have pinned my email address in the comment description. I wish you all the best, guys.